well, you tell me when you want to start firing.
Yeah. So, I mean, let's just start with kind of how you came into the program, already very successful, already doing this for many, many years. A guy in your position, let me just say this right up front to set the table here. A guy in your position could say, you know what? I have a lot of this figured out. I don't need help. I don't need coaching. I don't need mentoring. I am doing good, and you could have walked away. But I think you heard something in our initial webinar or initial program that made you think, wait a second. So let's use that as the jumping off point. What was it that you heard that said, maybe there's something more to this speaking business than I thought?
Well, I think when I first met you and I first listened to the webinar and that, several lights went off and several alarms went off in my head. And I thought, I've got a good speaking business. I've talked to 2.5 million people. I've written 20 different books. I've been on a lot of radio, television, talk shows, but I'm just not, I'm like the Elmer Fudd kind of approach. I go out and try to kill my next wabbit. And I go out and I do a dynamite talk, and then I get back on get in the cab or the limo, go back to the airport, and I just go to my next talk. And the problem is I never drilled deep. I never went deep with people. And I found out that what I was missing was what you taught me. And what you taught me was gold. And what you taught me took my business to, well, it's actually increased my business probably tenfold right now. And so if I would have, I just wish I would have known David Newman 10 years ago. Easily 10 years ago. If I would have known you 10 years ago, would have saved a lot of hair on my head, would have saved a lot of sanity in my life, which is what I teach in that. But I mean, I had to drill down more. And you taught me the questions to ask, how to really get into and get behind the scenes of, you're not just a speaker. And there's a boatload of speakers, and that's the problem. After 9/11, what ended up happening is everybody's speaking business went down. And if they said their business went up, they were lying to you, because people's business went down. The problem is also a lot of businesses went out of business, and that created people who thought they were speakers. And they went out and tried to speak to everybody about, every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the world went out with a topic that they thought they were good at, which lowered the price for speakers. What I learned from you was gold, and I wish I would have learned it again 10 years ago. And it was really, it's not about you, Dr. Mike. It's not about how good you are or how good you think you are. It's not about your books you've written. It's not about 2.5 million people. The bottom line is people don't care about that. What they care about is the association you're talking to. What's in it for them? Get into what's their problems. What do they want? Then all of a sudden I started learning from you. It's the business. And all of a sudden you, Dr. Mike, become the bridge between that business and what they want. And so now it wasn't about me. It was about them. So when I went into businesses and I learned from you, particularly when I the other thing that resonated with me in the webinar was you talked about sponsorships. And I thought to myself, I've been knowing this for years, but it's like cracking the code on the safe. I'm like a couple tumblers off. But everybody and their brother's always, well, I can help you get there. I can help you get there. I've taken more courses and more things and fly-by-night things for $90 or $99 or God knows what, and it's useless. It's a waste of time. What I found out from you after watching the videos is all of a sudden I got so excited because it was like, oh, there's the tumbler. Oh, there's the tumbler, and then the safe opened. And when it opened, I found out I was doing it all wrong. What I was doing is I was going into people who were potential sponsors, and I was going like this. Want to buy a watch? Want to buy a watch? Want to buy a speaking gig? Want to hire me for this? How about for your next conference? That was the wrong approach. You literally took my head, and what you do with other people, David, so effectively, is you literally took my head off and you twisted it around. And you literally made me look at things differently. And you basically got me humble. You got me very humble and basically said, they don't really care about you. What they care about is you need to become a professional problem solver for them. Once you become a professional problem solver for them, and find out what are the gaps that are going on. Do they need more traffic, more market share, more wallet share? Do they want to be the trusted healthcare solution expert, parent solution expert, school solution expert? Do they want to be that person? How can I position them as the hometown hero and be the bridge for that company, for that sponsor, for that person? Once I figured that out through your help, my meetings with sponsors changed tremendously. My meetings with school people changed tremendously. My meetings with anybody changed tremendously.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic.
David, it was a money pit for me.
So let's talk about that, because I love the image of the safe and the tumblers. Then, oh my gosh, the floodgates open. So we were talking a little bit before we flipped on the camera about some of these successes that you've had. Some of these, and they're not success stories, they're actual successes with closed deals and money in the bank and other even greater things in the pipeline. So review with us what you've accomplished and some of the numbers that you're able to put on the scoreboard using some of these strategies that you just shared.
Yeah, it's a good thing. Actually, I'll give you an example in a school market. In the school market, it's a different market, because money-wise, they're used to paying $1,500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,500, maybe $3,500, for a keynote kind of thing. Well, I changed all of that, and I kept thinking to myself, I'm a $4,500, $5,500, $6,500 speaker. But instead of going in with just that mindset, I'm going in to sit down with you and find out what's going on. So I went back to this school. I was invited into the school, happened to be a Catholic high school, and I met with the principal, and I sat down with her just like I would with any potential sponsor. I wanted to find out, tell me what the problems are, what are the gaps, what are you struggling with, what do you need more of? Boy, it unleashed everything, because what I found out is she had about 5, 6, 7 kinds of things that I thought, oh, great, okay, and how are you presently doing that? And what are you doing? What's worked? What's not worked? And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I know exactly, I am the bridge between her problems and what her solutions are. She wants solutions. I've got the solutions. So I sat down with her and I said, this is what I do. What I do is I'm the kind of person that I will become. I'm a professional problem solver who just happens to be a professional speaker. And you said that you need help with the bullying kind of thing, cyberbullying. I do that. You said you need help with your teachers and professional development. I do that, but not just talk to them. I will feed them and feed their brain a specific diet with my video podcasts on a regular basis. And then you want help with your parents. That's also what I do. And then you want help with all your support staff. That's also what I do. Bottom line, David, is as I sat with this lady, she was like, can you do that? Can you do that? You can really do that? What ended up happening is they hired me at $75,000 a year for 3 years in a row. So I've got $75,000 for 1 year, $75,000 for next year, and $75,000 for the next year. I got a 3-year deal out of these people, and they are happy as could be. Am I happy? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yeah, because I would have went in and just said, hey, want to buy a talk? $1,500, $2,500? That turned into $75,000, and it only turned into that with your help. And what I learned from those modules, that's how I did it.
So $225,000, and the old Mike would have sold them a $2,500 speech.
Oh, I would have sold them a $2,500 speech, and I would have went away happy, and I probably would have went there next year. I would have went next year and said, hey, I'd like to do another talk, and they'd probably say, well, but we only have, whatever, and it was like this principle literally has been sitting on donors who wanted to give money not only to the church but to the school, but she never had an ongoing program. Somebody could fill these gaps. But again, the key was all the questions that you taught me to get into her world. It's not about Dr. Mike. Who cares about Dr. Mike? It's solve her problems. Right. And once I got off of Dr. Mike and got into that, that's how I turned $2,500 into $75,000 times 3-year contract and commitment.
Right. And so that's landed, that is signed, sealed, and delivered. Let's talk about some other things that you're working on that are equally exciting.
Yep.
Maybe some things in the corporate world, some of the things that you're also doing with other types of sponsors.
Yeah, I've got a sponsor right now that I met with actually 2 weeks ago, and right now it's unbelievable what's happening with this. They happen to be, it's called iRecord, and they happen to deal with law enforcement. And they deal with law enforcement. They also deal with child advocacy centers around the country, people who deal with sexual abuse and physical abuse. And because of my background in law enforcement, I started out in that field, and I also worked at the Mayo Clinic in the Department of Psychiatry and Psychology, and unfortunately, we did deal with those kids who were either sexually or physically abused. So I knew that. Well, I met with these people, and I knew the president of this company. And the president said, "Oh man, Dr. Mike, we want you to come over and sit in on our meeting." So I went over and sat on a meeting, and what I did is I did a lot of research ahead of time, found out what they're doing, what they're into. Well, what they use is recording devices for law enforcement. So let's say you and I get picked up, we get brought into the police station. They're going to interview us with one button. They push a button and it records all their conversation and all that. Well, same thing for child advocacy centers. So it's like, well, wait now, how is Dr. Mike going to be of benefit here? How Dr. Mike is going to be of benefit is I listen to them. Tell me what's going on in your business. Tell me how much you're selling. Okay, you're a $10 million company right now. Where do you want to be in a couple of years? Where do you want to take this? What's your next level? How much are you paying your salespeople right now? Oh, you're paying them like $100,000 plus commission and stuff like that. Okay, great. Tell me, how do you want to get to that next level? What are the gaps? What are the things you tried? What are you frustrated with? Well, here's what's happening. They're typically just like anybody else. They go out to their trade shows and they stand at a booth and they hope like hell somebody walks by and they strong arm them, bring them in and show them their great product. Oh, fine and dandy. I said, I tell you what, I got a better option that actually is going to make you the hometown hero. And what this is I can come in and I can, number one, I can get more traffic to your website. I can get you more leads that will turn into prospects, that will turn into sales. I'll get you more market share and more wallet share. And I'll also get you to be looked at as the trusted law enforcement partner and the expert and a hometown hero. Because what I can, and I said, number one, let me just stop. Is that of interest to you? Well, these people were drooling. They're like, yeah, that's what we want. How do you do that? How do you do that? What do you do? I said, well, I'm a professional speaker, but I can solve all these problems. And again, that's what I learned from you. Problem solver, and then just happens to be a speaker. I'll go up and speak on stage on your behalf. And what will happen is everybody in the audience will want to have one of my handouts, okay, which are my little, my 4x6 kind of handouts and that. What we'll do is we'll put your iRecord on there. We'll put all your contact information. We'll also have people, if they want to book Dr. Mike, they go to iRecord and there's a little page there. And then what I'll tell everybody is, how many of you people, maybe there's 5,000 in the audience, how many would like to have, how many felt like you got something out of this talk? Well, they're going to raise their hand. How many would want to get a booster shot from Dr. Mike on a regular basis? They all want that. What I can do is provide video podcasts for everybody in the audience. But here's the video podcast. It's not just Dr. Mike for 2 minutes of sanity, leadership, and character minutes, but it's 2 minutes. And they're prefaced by iRecord has a bumper on the front and a bumper on the back, and brought to you by the good folks. And I said, this is where you teach people, because every one of those people in the audience, they're salespeople. That 911 dispatcher who's sitting in the audience, that officer, that person that wants to be a detective, they're all going to need to know about this, because even my nephew who works at who's head of security for a casino, he needs to know about iRecord, and he's going to learn from Dr. Mike for 52 weeks. He's going to pick up something on the front and the back of every video. He's going to get good content, and he's going to get a place to go. Plus, so I kept doing this, David, and what ended up happening is iRecord now has said, we got to talk. We got to talk. We've never seen anything like this. This is what we want. Because it's not just a trade show. I'm helping them solve that problem. I'm guess what? I'm going to bring in more than $100,000. I mean, they're going to pay a salesperson $100,000. Right now, they're getting 37 leads, and they're excited about that. 37? Are you kidding me? I'd be slitting my wrists if I was getting 37. I want more. I want more, and I'm going to guarantee them that I can get them more. And also, they're looking at providing me not only with a contract, but then commission on sales of those things too.
And so what I love about this, Mike, and let's be really clear for the folks watching, you are not a sales trainer. Your topic is not sales. Your topic is not marketing. Your topic is not lead generation. Your topic is strategies to save your sanity.
Correct.
And that's where you're an expert, and you're an expert in human relations and human psychology and interpersonal connection and so forth. Yeah. So this is not, oh, well, Mike has it easy because Mike is clearly he's a sales trainer. He helps people with sales. It's leveraging your topic and deploying your topic in the service of their goal, and their goal is more sales, and their goal is more leads, and their goal is more customers and more revenue. And you've simply inserted yourself brilliantly, I might add, into that equation so that they see you as the missing link. They see you as the guy that can make this happen. So you're the catalyst for the ultimate end result that they want, correct?
Well, exactly. And again, I did not know, I mean, I've been a speaker forever, for 30 some years, but I just did the Elmer Fudd kind of thing. And I would have went into that meeting. In fact, I did go into, because I knew this guy, the president, years ago, 10 years ago. And I went into, I wanted to just do a talk for his group. That's all. This is not going to be a talk. This is going to be another one of those contracts, because they immediately said, well, how much do you charge, Dr. Mike? Because this is phenomenal. Well, $6,500. Okay, for that trade show. And immediately he's going, well, we've got like 6 or 8. He's not even balking at the $6,500. Why? Because he knows that $6,500, he's just like anybody. We're either going to spend that on a billboard, which gets us nothing. We're going to spend this on pay-per-click ads, which get us nothing or very little. They might get us a lead, but this Dr. Mike guy is going to build a relationship with every one of those people in the audience, not just one time. See, Dr. Mike is going to be our poster child. He's going to be the sandwich board guy up on stage for us, but he's going to be with us every week for 52 weeks in the hearts and minds of every one of those people in the audience. And you never know who's in that audience. And already the guy who was the 3 people in the meeting, one guy already contacted me, and I just had the meeting on Thursday. He contacted me on Friday and said, I got a couple of trade shows in December I'm going to book you for. And so again, we haven't even worked out the details. But is that $6,500? Yes. Is the other one $6,500? Yes. But then that doesn't include, they're like saying, listen, I want you, Dr. Mike, we have existing customers and then prospective customers. Our existing customers, we want to give back. And when you said in the meeting, Dr. Mike, that we can give you as a part of our give back program to our existing customers and say, listen, we love you as a customer, but we got a guy named Dr. Mike who can come in and work with your department. He'll be there all day. You want to bring him in for every other hour, and so your shift people can come in for strategies for saving your sanity. You got Dr. Mike. He's our gift to you. Why are they doing that? Because they want to keep their customers and keep them happy. And Dr. Mike is now the solution to their problem.
Yeah.
Is how
totally.
I'm a problem solver.
Well, so, I always tell people, and I've got one last question for you, Mike, and this has been so fantastic. I always tell people, you're going to pick up a whole bunch of strategies, tactics, tools, etc. Really, you're only looking for that 1 or 2. Right? No one needs all the strategies in our mentoring program. No one needs all the action steps. No one needs to load themselves down with a million to-dos. This is about simplifying. And for you, it was obviously sponsorship and going after this kind of bulk marketing, wholesale marketing strategy so that you could stop hunting rabbits and get off the hamster wheel of gig to gig to gig to gig. So what would you say to someone, whether their particular key might be that or their particular key that would unlock their floodgates is something else? what would you say to that person who is on the fence right now? Don't know, speaker profit formula. Should I go? Because again, like you, maybe they've been burned before. They've signed up for coaches and mentors that under-delivered before. They've bought into all kinds of boot camps and craziness that has not worked for them. What are some parting words of wisdom as they're considering this decision?
If you're on the fence for this, I was on the fence because I thought, man, I've spent money before. And then when I looked at the price of this, I thought, uh-oh, what is my wife going to say? You know, and I would say to anybody who's on the fence, if you're serious and you really, really are serious about taking your business, your speaking business to the next level, forget everything else and go to David Newman. Go to his stuff. It changed my thinking and it changed my business. And it's not a cost. Do not look at this as a cost. It is an investment. And if you're not willing to invest in yourself and your future, then guess what? Go back to all the nickel dime stuff. Go back to the $99 stuff. Go back to the free seminar. Go back to the guy that's going to sell you a widget. This is not a widget training session. These are modules. You will get so much from this. And again, you know, I'm looking for things in my business to turn the tumblers, to try to make this work. I took notes upon notes upon notes. Every one of my sessions, this is completely different than anything I've ever done. Because what David is David's in this for your success, period, end of sentence. There's nobody out there, they'll take your money and then guess what? You'll never see them again. Or you'll get a video and a bunch of videos to watch, but you'll have a bunch of questions and you don't get to ask anybody any questions. You get to ask David personally questions. You get to banter this around. He'll get you to switch things and turn things and get you to think differently. And again, he'll take your head off. He'll turn it around. I don't care what level you're at, whether you're a well-seasoned speaker like I was or you're a newbie on the block. You need to find the money. You need to find the money and invest in this. This is not a cost. It's an investment in you and your future. And if you're truly interested in speaking, there's only one person to go to. And I'm telling you, I will do anything for David Newman because I'm a David Newman groupie. And I'm done doing the old Dr. Mike. That's guys back there. I don't know. I just wish I would have done this 10 years ago. I wish. But you know what? It is what it is. Stick a fork in it. And David Newman gave me the rectal rocket. And I call it a rectal rocket because it motivated the bejeebers out of me to think differently. And now it's nothing but success. Every day I'm just fired up because I'm going, wow. I get somebody on the phone, I now know how to talk to them completely differently than what I did before. And as a result, I got $75,000, 3-year $75,000 contract. I got $6,500 per gig. I've been booked now 5 different times at different conferences. I've also got sponsors I've got meetings this week and next week, closing deals with these people. And again, it's coming into, we're well over, if you start adding all this up, you're into the $300,000 range. Did I think that was, now, is that more than what I invested with David Newman? Yeah. Should David be getting a kickback? Well, yeah, but now he's not going to. No. He's going to be my buddy forever. I tell you, I love you, David.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you. Well, and it's, I got to give you a ton of credit. And I always say this to all of our super successful clients is that you get the credit because you did the work. At the end of the day, all I do is talk, I advise, we do action steps, we critique, we rebuild your marketing materials, we strategize, we figure out what do I say, what do I send, what do I do in all these different situations. But if you don't listen and if you don't implement, you don't get results. So one of my favorite sayings, I think you've heard me say on our mentoring calls, it's amazing the results you do not get from the marketing that you do not do. So you get the kudos because you're the doer.
I thank you, but I think there's another thing that people need to know too is that unfortunately in this business, in the speaking business, we think, well, I need to get myself, a speaker's bureau. speakers bureaus are not going to market you. They're not going to go out. They've got lots of people. And you know what? It all comes, or maybe I'll go online. I'll put an online ad out, or I'll do this, I'll do that. The bottom line is it all comes back to who? Comes back to you. And that's why this is an investment in you. It's not an investment in anything else. It's an investment in you, because when it comes right down to it, if you don't have the skills, to do this, then this is not the business for you. So you've got to ask yourself, do I really want to speak for a living? If I do want to speak for a living, then what am I missing? What are those hidden secrets that I'm missing? And that's why I say the tumblers were spinning, and I knew I was missing something. And every one of these modules, I just kept sucking the information in, and I kept sucking it in. And it just made me a better person and a better speaker. And now I'm the ultimate in problem solving, man. I am an expert.
There you are. You got the black belt.
I can't wait for my next meeting, because I go in completely different now. Completely different.
Yeah. Well, Mike, we are going to tune in. We're going to keep tabs on your success. I'm going to keep tabs on your success. We might do another video 6 months from now once you've made like $1 million, or who knows how much you're going to make.
I hope.
But, I just love the energy and the enthusiasm and picking up the head, turning it around, putting it back on the right way. And you're taking off like a rocket, my friend. So thank you.
Well, thank you, David. I mean, again, I owe it all to you. It's been a whirlwind. It's so, every day there's something new. And I just got an email now. It's like, hey, Dr. Mike, get this back to me. And
we got to let you go, dude. We got to let you go get that gig.
Well, to let you also know too, get this. These training facilities that kids go to, these are like middle school, high school kids go to training facilities for all sports and stuff like that. There's a training facility who is now, they've got, it's huge. The guy's got 12 training facilities he owns. He's doubling that within the next year. But what he wants to do is he wants to bring me on, because every one of these kids that come in, you have to, let's say baseball, you have to have an approved hitting coach. You also have to have a approved personal trainer. Okay. So you have to have those things. What he wants to do is he wants to make his training facilities that much different. He wants a coach for leadership and character coach. And he's making that Dr. Mike via my videos. Nice. And he's making it for parents and for kids. And now, get this, he's looking at maybe about $120, $150, because parents, they will pay anything for their kid, He's making that about $150. And what he's doing, David, is about 1,000 of these kids go through each one of these facilities. Well, take that times $150 times each one of these kids.
That's serious money.
It's huge money.
Yeah.
The guy in Indiana, who I told you about with this iRecord, he also owns 12 training facilities. I told him this, and he said, I'm going to sign everybody up. This is how we're going to do it. But again, I never would have thought about that if I hadn't been this whole thing of, hey, Dr. Mike, you've got these videos. You need to attach this to the value. It's value, value, value. And thank you, man. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for twisting my head around.
Yes. Head twisting is included.
Yeah. Thanks, man.